Orange County Choppers, OCC, is probably the world's most famous custom motorcycle manufacturing company, revered by bikers around the globe as the birthplace of builds that completely changed the game. However, under the surface of creative ingenuity and brimming passion lay a greatly strained relationship between father and son. It's precisely this rift between the two that made the series all the more remarkable, adding massive elements of reality TV to an already very absorbing documentary show. The cooperation of Paul John Teutul Sr., Paul Sr., and Paul Michael Teutul Jr.'s, often just called Jr., produced one-of-a-kind machines that stunned the world, and their lack thereof left audiences scratching their heads as to why they even worked together. From its inception in 2003 to the time it first stopped airing in 2012, American Chopper the series continually made headlines across numerous media outlets and, consequently, a lot of money for its parent network, the Discovery Channel. With the addition of just a few cameras on the premises, Orange County Choppers in Newburgh, New York went from a private business to a global sensation. The time bomb that the company was built on eventually had to implode, splitting up the fabled father-son duo and starting another, perhaps even greater story. Far from being an end to the saga that captured the world's attention, the temporary finish of American Chopper the series paved the way for both of the Teutuls to rise to even greater popularity. The start of the crumbling of American Chopper the series was the culmination of Senior and Junior's fights, which over time seemed more and more to have stemmed from actual hatred and unwillingness to listen. Their last and biggest altercation even involved physical violence, with Junior smashing a chair on the floor and kicking the door into the wall on his way out of Senior's office. It all started when Junior was more than 45 minutes late to work yet again, which made Senior furious. He told the camera crew that he was completely done with letting this behavior continue, building himself up to even greater anger as the son slowly made his way to the office. Junior wasn't really having any of that, so he replied in kind with the same shouting volume, ultimately bursting out with rage and trashing part of his father's office. He stormed outside without a word, as the father yelled at his back that his contract was terminated. Junior expressed relief at that statement and left the premises, never to return. Although Senior generally ruled his business with an iron fist, it wasn't until Junior's departure that his father achieved complete freedom in his builds, since the other Paul had a very different idea of what their bikes should look like. This variety and taste seemed a promising factor at first, as the audience expected them to combine the styles and build truly remarkable machines. However, it only served to further the already significant family rift, birthing issues for both of the design masterminds as they clashed over the tiniest of details. Senior finally built bikes with completely creative liberty, which greatly pleased the fans who preferred him from the onset. Conversely, those who mostly rooted for Junior found it hard to support the show without him, which led to mixed overall feelings regarding the continuation of American Chopper. With that, the potential customers of OCC were also split between the company and Junior's brand new business, Paul Jr. Designs, PJD. Whereas before everyone who wanted a legendary bike would give Senior a call, it was now a question of taste in a true old versus new fashion, with Junior preferring to push the limits of what is considered a motorbike, while his father stuck to more conventional methods and still greatly attractive old-school aesthetic. Consequently, it became apparent that the two businesses were semi-direct competitors, which is a discomfort that OCC had never had to deal with prior to Junior leaving. As father and son weren't working in the same space anymore, their rivalry became even stronger, pushing both their creative drives to even greater lengths. It's thus undeniable that OCC entered a new age post-2008, with its builds becoming perhaps more iconic than any other time, as the work was further streamlined thanks to very few arguments among the staff, as well as Senior trying his hardest to outdo the younger talent. Worthy of mention is that Junior wasn't the only one who left, as several other important and highly skilled workers went to join PJD in the years following its creation, including the unforgettable MVP of custom bike building, Vincent DiMartino, Vinny, as well as Cody Connolly and Michael Teutul. This outflow of talent most definitely took a toll on OCC, which was forced to resort to brand new employees. In 2010, American Chopper Senior vs. Junior gave hope to fans that the series would continue for years to come, but they were let down when it was brought to an end only 2 years later. Still, throughout those 56 episodes, it was evident that both father and son had reached a new understanding of chopper building, outdoing the supposedly impossibly high standards that they had set while working together. Many prominent choppers were featured throughout the spin-off, such as the St. Jude bike, built by Sr. at OCC to honor and support the efforts of St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital from Memphis, Tennessee, which is a nonprofit medical corporation centered on extremely debilitating children's diseases, such as leukemia and various other cancers. The Geico bike was proudly revealed as one of PJD's first designs, created for the Geico Philanthropic Foundation, which has empowered numerous charities throughout the U.S. and helped them support diverse communities. American Chopper, the series, was canceled alongside its spin-off in 2012, leading many to believe that this was indeed the end of OCC's dominance on the TV screen. However, their next appearance was just around the corner. Orange County Choppers premiered on CMT on the 18th of August 2013, with a pilot that lasted 2 hours. It featured even more advanced builds than was previously thought possible by the fans of the franchise, with a new creative director to help steer the team to even greater creations. Evan Favaro was said by many viewers to be the second-best addition to the crew, aside from Jr. himself, who was definitely not returning at that point. Regardless of his son's absence, Sr. was more determined than ever before to push the limits of chopper design and revolutionize his craft yet again. While the builds were undoubtedly impressive, the series' second season never really took off, and so it finished with the airing of its 8th episode on the 11th of January 2014. Thinking that this was actually the end, the fans were greatly surprised by the 2014 American Chopper special episode entitled American Chopper Shack Bike, created to showcase the process of OCC building a chopper for the legendary basketball player Shaquille O'Neal. Although not very significant on its own, the special was the first time after Paul Jr.'s split that OCC almost entirely took over American Chopper and its spin-offs, which most likely would have happened if only the series had continued. 2014 was beginning to spell the true end of the saga, but then 2018 rolled around. The long-awaited return of American Chopper the series took place on the 1st of March 2018, featuring the 11th season. Unlike earlier, Sr. and Jr. were working together again, although not to the point of anyone believing the father would absorb the son's business. The episode entitled Welcome Back opened up the 10-year anniversary, not showing much collaboration between the Teutul's early on. However, it was later revealed that their relationship became much healthier over the years, probably due to each having their own unrestricted creative liberty. Also, it wasn't out of the question for certain work to be delegated to the other party through tight deadlines, making OCC and PJD partners as much as competitors. The focus was still very much on the shop's individual projects, however, as fully mutual ones were definitely a thing of the past. The only exception is their collaboration on fixing the old New York Yankees chopper, which Jr. requested from OCC after the machine had been severely defaced and sold into scrap. Things seem to be looking up for both the franchise and the Teutul family, leading fans to trust yet again that the series had a long and bright future ahead. There was even hope that the shops would eventually merge, and OCC would have its second-in-command as before, but without the aggressive arguments that defined the first 6 years of the show. To their customary misfortune, it became obvious after the 12th season's finish on the 2nd of April 2019 that no new episodes were in the making. The only reasonable conclusion was that the age of American Chopper the series was truly over. The farewell was presumably made easier by the ultimate 2-hour special that came out on the 28th of July 2020, in which OCC and PJD came together to build a bike from scratch, something that had never happened in the entire history of the series. The two protagonists were the same, but a lot had changed over the years, and OCC was moving its headquarters for the first time in 17 years. This provided a bothersome time constraint for the Teutuls, as they had only 8 weeks to build a chopper deserving of their legendary repute for ABC Supply Company, the biggest roofing enterprise in the country. Aside from the world-famous series, a few other negative factors combined to bring OCC to where it is in 2023. It became clear over the years that Sr.'s talent for building unparalleled choppers didn't really help with much else, as he fell on hard times upon Jr.'s departure. For example, a bankruptcy fraud lawsuit haunting the Teutuls from as early as 2003, culminating in mid-2007, draining energy and resources from an already spent senior. In essence, it was alleged that he and his sons fraudulently filed for bankruptcy after selling assets of one son's company to that of another. They were accused of abusing the right to declare bankruptcy so as to avoid paying significant costs incurred by transferring the assets, and it was said that they owed upwards of $1.3 million to the damaged parties. A settlement of $500,000 was eventually reached, being given to the accuser by OCC. In 2018, there was a brand new bankruptcy filing by Sr., in which he stated that he was making only $15,000 per month, saying that he owed around 50 creditors almost $1.1 million, with his total wealth being $1.8 million. He also listed the family home for sale, but had great trouble finding a buyer. As if that weren't enough, he lost another lawsuit in 2020, paying photographer Scott Gunnels almost $260,000 for using his artwork without consent. One particular photo that Scott took was printed on various merchandise items by OCC and was shown on screen in the series multiple times as well. For the aforementioned reasons, a decision was finally made in early 2020 to move Sr.'s business to new premises in St. Petersburg, Florida, right next to the famed Burt's Barracuda Harley-Davidson store. The new location allowed Sr. to expand into other ventures as well, fulfilling the lifelong dream of turning OCC into a lifestyle brand instead of just a chopper workshop. The facility was named OCC Roadhouse and Museum, featuring the standard work area and retail section, as well as several amenities one wouldn't normally expect near a chopper store, such as a restaurant, billiards hall, concert pavilion, and museum. The facility has been operating at full steam since late June 2021, attracting perhaps even bigger crowds than during the heyday of the American Chopper franchise. Their website is mostly dedicated to the restaurant service, but it also lists the frequent one-of-a-kind events that take place on the premises, such as live music performances at the concert hall and biker get-togethers that are attended by chopper aficionados from all over the country. All in all, in spite of the numerous obstacles along the way, it can be said with some certainty that Sr. has got over his monetary woes and found a place under the bright blue sky of Florida for OCC, which seems to be well on its way to becoming an all-encompassing brand. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.